Well, 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 how the turntables. Looks like the Christmas crowds are finally coming back. There's a lot of people here now that schools are out. There's a lot of magic key holders that are blacked out at the mouse house. Man, I'm gonna get run over. I better pay attention. Okay, I think I'm safe now. It's about 9:45. The crowd is starting to make its way up to the front gate. They're letting people into the park now to kind of sit at the front, but they're not doing Ghost Rider early rides or anything like that. But yeah, like I was saying, the crowd is here. There's vacations and stuff going on now. A lot of people coming here from Disneyland because they can't go there for the next couple weeks, and just all around kind of goodness. So we're in the season now, the Merry Farm season, where we get to share the park with people we don't get to often share the park with. So this will be fun. Hopefully they're left with a good taste in their mouth. So we're gonna let the crowd kind of simmer down a little bit at the front gate. I don't know how much it's going to simmer down by the time I get over there. We're gonna check out the hotel first, and we're going to see, I can hear it, we're gonna see the improvements that they've made so far. So there you have it, that's what it's almost gonna look like. Obviously they've still gotta put these cinder blocks up here, finish making this wall. The guys over here cutting concrete down there. I'm not sure what for. They're like flat slabs. But they got the doors put in the back there, and it looks like the windows too. So they're almost done here. They're very, very close to being done in this part. And I gotta say, I'm impressed. It looks good.
And on the back too, looks like they're gonna be putting new doors here. That's definitely doors, right? Not a wall.
And you can't really see what they're doing back there in the kitchen, but they're doing something. They just widened this whole area back here by a lot. So this whole hallway here is going to be huge. I stand corrected. It is about 10 till, and they started running Ghost Rider, so they have let people in to start riding that ride. So that's good. I know the park also started extending their closing hours this week as well. So instead of closing at 6 p.m. on weekdays, they're closing at 8 p.m. this week. And then next week after Christmas, they're going to start opening at 9, and they'll stay open till 10. So after this week, the next following 2 weeks until Merry Farm is over, January 7th, they'll have the big long 13-hour days, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. And then it'll be back to normal. So they brought the truck in for more shrubbery. I don't know where they're going to lay this down. Yeah, more bushes, please. More greenery, please. Greenery is scenery. So there is the entryway. The guy's up there working on the top, and they've got these guys in the back here working on the doorway. The doors are in. They're automatic sliding open doors in the front, and then just 2 manual opening doors on the sides. And then they've got they'll have a little open to a little green room before you get to the lobby there. So it's just kind of a little extended entry, which is awesome. This is going to look cool in the next couple weeks too when they're done with it. And then 20 acres is a little structure here going on in the front too. I'm not sure what that's going to be. I'm sure somebody knows what that's going to be. I'm about to build this little structure here around where the entrance is going to be in the front here. So there's a lot of people working on this side of the hotel here. There's a lot of people working on the back side too. But yeah, February seems like a good date for this to be done. I think what's funny is they haven't worked on this sign at all yet. It's still got the crackling Knott's Berry Farm Hotel up there. This little LED sign, I haven't seen this turned on in like over a year, and they still got this amber wave sign. So this will probably be one of the last things they work on as soon as they finish work on the actual proper building structure. Then they come and mess with the accessories. Hopefully they keep the LED board, maybe get a new one that's colored, kind of updated a little bit, kind of draw a little bit more attention to people driving by. Not in a dangerous way, but in an attentive way. I don't know what's going on down there, but it looks like they've already got a worker waving them by. So they've already closed the south lot for the morning. They'll probably open it again later in the day, which, they may actually have it just closed while they work on. Maybe they've got trucks going through the entrance or something that they don't want to go against traffic. But it's just funny. Like, it's 10 a.m. in the park. It's just opening now, and this guy's already waving traffic by. So these people have to go all the way around now. Down La Palma, and then go back into the entrance to the main lot off Grand. It's actually a big issue that Knott's has seemed to have for quite a while now, especially since I started coming, is their parking situation. It's always been a little bit wonky. It always seems off to me. And doing this kind of stuff really doesn't seem to be doing them any favors. A lot of people, if it's their first time here, have a lot of trouble just finding their way into the right lot, because they'll have certain access to certain lots closed, other access will be open, there's no signage showing where to go, especially over here on Grand, where it seems like they're still just trying to funnel people into the premier parking. But I don't know, I have a video that kind of gives a guide somewhat to how to do it. I'll put that up over here. It's a little dated because I think that's before they put the premium parking in, when this was just the morning lot here. But it still gives a little bit of insight to the different hours and the different scheduling that they will kind of have somewhat. It's changed throughout the years, but it's at least a good tipping off point for people that have never been to the park before, that need a little bit of guidance to get through, to just get your car parked and get into the park. So the work's continuing. They're bringing in a lot of those steel beams there to put around that structure. I mean, I'm assuming that that'll just be the sign, right, in the front of the restaurant. Well, regardless of what it is going to be, this taking shape is an awesome sight. And they're starting to put walls and stuff up on the inside too, so the inside is starting to take shape. This restaurant's gonna look really dope. I wish I could see the lobby. I haven't been able to see the lobby or that ballroom above where the restaurant's gonna be. But I'm assuming that if they're done, I mean, they're doing, it looks like they're doing cosmetic stuff. Looks like they're done hanging the lights and stuff on the inside. So they might be fixing up the ballroom now too. So nothing too crazy going on at the hotel. But now we get to the fun part. We get to go into the turnstiles and see what the park looks like now that all of our friends are here. Bring your patience, people, if you're here in the next couple weeks. Been a little while since we've seen this, huh? All right, now we get to, well, that's not so bad. Let's get through security. And they got all the gates open too, including the premium pass holders down at the end there. So they're ready for it. They're ready to get it done. So it is now, whoop, Andrew is texting me. It's about 10:20. This is what you can expect to see now for Ghost Rider from here to the end of the year. They're at the entrance to the mine here. About an hour and a half, 2 hour wait, depending on how many switchbacks they've got open inside the barn. But if you want to ride Ghost Rider, you got to get here at 9:30, 9 o'clock, and this has to be the first thing you do, or unfortunately you're going to be standing in line for a while. This ride will be ever popular. This line for guest services is always super long too, for people getting their blue pass. So that's your options. You can stand in this super long line here. This is generally an hour and a half wait also, or you get a fast lane pass and you walk right up. Gingerbread lane's not super popular. This area doesn't usually get bumping until later in the day, when people start to get hungry and want their drinks and stuff. The sun goes down. So there's not a lot of shade here, so it gets kind of hot in the middle of the day. It's just wide open concrete ground, and really there's nothing back here except for some food, some drinks, and then the photo op in the back corner here.
Lord, I wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart.
Gertie's dress shop is closed down. This is going to be the entrance to the Calico Social Lounge. So this will be where the VIP lounge is on the other side of this door. Oh my goodness, what they're doing over there, I don't know. They're doing something, but it's right here. The entrance is in Gertie's dress shop now. I don't know if they're going to close Gertie's down for good. Like, I'm assuming that's where the signage is going to go. Calico Social Lounge, Calico Social Lounge. This is it right here, right across from the blacksmith, if you have your Premier Annual Pass. Ooh, IP. Train's back, in case you didn't hear. So as you can see, even with the large crowd and the people showing up here early in the morning, it looks like a vast majority of them are still at the front of the park, in either Camp Snoopy or in line for Ghost Rider. So I can't stress this enough. If you get here early, don't be intimidated by the lines in the front of the park. There's the lines to get in. Because if you come in here and you get this stuff done, look. Oh well, I don't even think the log ride is going today. There's nobody in this part of the park. And this part of the park doesn't really even fill up until around 11:30 anyway. So just kind of run it backwards. Start in the back, work your way up to the front. At this point, if you didn't get to Ghost Rider in time, to not have to wait for over 30, 45 minutes, just come back here. I'm sure Accelerator's probably a smaller line. I know Hang Time, they just ran a car that was like half full. Pony Express is back here. You can ride the log ride here before it gets warmer during the day and fills up. If it's open, the Mine Ride, all that stuff. And you can get all that stuff, you can knock all that stuff out, and then you can go and take your time waiting in line for Ghost Rider. And they're testing it, so it's going to reopen again soon. But, still, I think waiting for this to reopen is probably still going to be less of a wait than waiting for Ghost Rider. And look who decided to wake up from her slumber. Old Ghost Rider's back in all of its glory. The question is, did they take those shin guards out? It doesn't look like it. I can still see the screws on the sides of the cars. The word on the street was what took so long was they were going to lower the platform so that it was even with the cars, so that they could remove those shin guards. But no, it's still going to be just as uncomfortable as ever to ride these. So then the question stands: what exactly did they do here? Why did they take all those railings off the loading area and then put them back? If they weren't trying to be compliant with what the current rule was for them, if they were just going to keep those shin guards on anyway, why would they keep it shut down? Maybe just regular old refurb. I think I was looking too deep into this. And if you aren't really aware with what happened with this ride, a few years ago, a kid got his leg stuck between the loading dock and the car when it was coming in, and he had to be in a wheelchair for a couple months. But I guess they ended up going through a lawsuit with the park, and basically what Cedar Fair ended up doing was adding those shin guards to the ride, which a lot of people still think was just a step too far, because it looks like they added there's a little ramp that goes up that kind of gradually goes up to where the loading dock is, just in case somebody else decided to stick their leg out before the ride stopped. And they also, they've got the signs in the back. They've got a separate person now to let you out of the car when the ride's over. And they had all that in place, and then they decided to add the shin guards anyway, which really make this ride unbearable at times if you're over 5'7", 5'6". If you've got just long legs in general, this ride pretty uncomfortable to ride. And I've been stuck on this ride on the ramp going up with Jensen before for just 15 minutes. And I tell you what, it's one of my least favorite memories of this park in the last couple of years. So with Ghost Rider going now, and Hang Time going, if you couldn't tell, Boardwalk going full speed. Everything's open now back here. So that's good news. And it looks like my complaining about their music being too loud is kind of hit home with somebody, because it seems like they've turned the speakers down back here. I'm walking right under them, and they're not loud at all. And there's not a lot of people here to suck the sound out either. So it's like they kind of turned the speakers down finally. It looks like Berry Tales is kind of dead too. There's been a lot of people talking about how, I haven't ridden this ride in a while, but a lot of people are talking, they're saying that their guns haven't worked, the calibration's been off, and it's not really working too well. The ride breaks down a lot often throughout the day. I know this ride's, it's not even that old, but it's already lost its luster, and a lot of people are kind of hoping that KNOTT does something about this, whether they change it into just a full-out dark ride and take the interactivity out, take the screens out, just put it back to where it was before, instead of Return to the Fair, just when it was just KNOTT's Berry Tales. Or even a lot of people are saying that they should go back to the dinosaur dark ride that they used to have. Another problem with this ride too is that the loading and unloading, especially on certain days, can be just painful to get through. They only fill up 8 at a time total between the two cars, 4 and 4. So the line doesn't seem to really move that long. So if the line ever gets to over here, much less inside the factory itself, you could be waiting here for upwards of 45 minutes to ride this ride, which a lot of kids do like it. But with the amount of trouble that it goes through to just keep working in general, it seems like the ROI isn't really there. And it gets to the point to where even the cameras don't even work anymore. See, this whole thing, it's just a bunch of cameras that didn't work. So even, the big finale at the end, before you chase the hot air balloon, that doesn't even work anymore. So this ride needs some serious TLC, that's for sure. In the arcade, they put the machines back to normal, but they put an actual door here on this exit. So the good news is, it looks like this is here to stay. I know I've made that point before in the past, but this isn't just a black curtain now. This is an actual door, so they're probably, hopefully, going to keep this maze for years to come. I'm 90% sure, 85% sure that this is a new permanent maze location. Here's a question. Are they feeling festive at the Blind Tiger and all?
Go away! We came at the office!
They are not feeling festive at all. I'm going to keep these ropes for the queue on the downstairs area going into the Walter Knott Theater for the Snoopy on Ice show, which is now running every day, in case you didn't know. 1:30, 3:30, and 5:30. So with addition to them extending their hours, they're also running all their shows. They got the ones in the Birdcage Theater that are going now. Snoopy on Ice is going now. Sleigh Bells are going now. And then what's going on at the Calico Mine Theater. All the shows are going every day now. So dynamite triggers are now off limits. So hopefully they're gonna, yeah, they took all of them out. So hopefully they're gonna fix those. I know that's something that they've been needing to do for a while. Those things haven't worked for a little bit, but they had a lot of fun to people that aren't riding the ride, and quite a bit of fun to people that are riding the ride if it's warm enough. But I'm guessing while this is down for the next few weeks, they're going to get to that and try to fix that so that when it opens again, we'll be able to trigger the TNT on the other side of this river and soak these fools that are riding in the tubes. These crazy kids riding water rides in the winter. Pony Express already has a long line, that's fine, but it looks like they have their second train up and getting ready to go for probably, I'm assuming this week sometime, so they can run both trains and keep this line to a minimum. You know it's serious when they bring that second train out. But again, if you want to get here and you don't want to wait in these lines, fast lane, I'm telling you, it's the way to go. An absolute walk-on right now. Get that done. Let me tell you about a beautiful sight in a California theme park. Bigfoot Falls never fails to disappoint. You just need some peace and quiet, just time to get away and kind of escape into your thoughts a little bit. Maybe you had a long day, standing in lines, riding some crazy rides, and just want to sit back and reflect. This is the spot to do it. And hey, Snoopy and the Peanuts gang are usually out here too to say hello. Don't forget to say hello to them. You know what I was thinking would be cool too? Is just to add just like a little a voice box to Snoopy. He doesn't speak English, obviously. He just speaks, jibber jabber. And I think it would be a really cool addition to his costume to add his, whatever it is, his little chirpy language that he makes. Just, I can't do it, but you know what I mean. Let's get some glass blown. Freedom of glass. And if you didn't know, now you know. We got everything else open, but not the stagecoaches. It's too early for these horses right now. Speaking of things that are back open again every day, look who finally decided to show up on a Monday. The old Grand Sierra Railroad. Back for now, and it is full. Yeah, so this is where most of the people were. They were in Camp Snoopy. Still running just fine. That's going to be the number one question I have for the next month and a half or so. What's going on with the Fiesta Village Navidad? Oh, it doesn't look that bad. This is normal. The good news is the ground is dry, so I don't have to ice skate my way through here. This is another place where in the morning the ground gets really slippery. On a nice sunny but cloudy Monday, party's here, Fiesta Village. If you couldn't tell, at least they got all the rides up and going, including our boy, Revolucion. That is, of course, with the exception of one very large hole in everybody's heart. Old Monty. Again, because they've got so much going on with the hotel and Camp Snoopy, I'm not expecting much news out of this front for at least another couple months. At least until they start getting head-on into Camp Snoopy there. Do you think they put a Camp Snoopy sign back here? They should. They have one for both sides of Fiesta Village. They have one for all three sides of Fiesta Village. They should put one for Camp Snoopy back here too. They're putting a big one up front. It's actually not that bad here right now. Actually back in the far corner here. It's not that the candy cabin's open. This is only open on weekends most of the time. I mean, there's nothing special in there that you can't find in the Calico Candy Shop. It's basically the same thing. But yeah, I mean, it's not going to surprise me when these are the next rides to go. I thought for sure this was going to go with the other two, but I guess they've got room for Tender Paw in just this little spot here. I don't think I've seen Huff and Puff so crowded since they announced the closing of it. Even when we first started coming a couple like in the summertime. Well, at least Linus Launchers is working too. But I don't think I've ever seen Huff and Puff that busy for so many consecutive days. since they announced that it's closing. We still don't know what's happening here. This is probably not going to touch for a while. I think I'm going to forget about this area for the time being and just probably focus on what's going on at the theater, because that seems like that's where all the action is. Woo! Stroller City over here. This is the place to be. This is the first thing you see when you come into Camp Snoopy, so it makes sense, I guess, right? Yes. So it looks like, yeah, that planter's gone. So they only a couple days. They got rid of that planter. They get rid of the stage. This whole thing's going to be leveled. They're probably going to be pulling up this concrete next. I'm assuming that's going to be the next thing that happens. That way they can level this whole thing and then maybe rake it for the stadium seating. Maybe they're going to make the stage itself will be level with the ground that we're standing on here at the midway, and then you know, kind of slope the ground downward so that it's raked a little bit. I don't know, but there's a lot going on in here. Now, those that come to KNOTT's already know you can't take these wait times on these signs to heart because they're never correct. And this one holds true to that sentiment. This is not a 30-minute wait. This is at least 45 to an hour. It's spilling out of the actual queue itself and into the roped line. So that's probably 60 minutes or so. They're also only running one train. So they got to load it, run it, and then unload it. Again, I want to re-emphasize my statement when I came into the park this morning. Bring your patience. And make sure when you do come to the park, you get your last glimpse of the Snoopy canoe up above this little rock waterfall in the entrance here. Because after Merry Farm is over, he'll be moving to his new location. Yes, that is correct. Bring your patience. There is a lot of people here. It's Merry Farm. That's what happens. Other than that, everything is moving exactly as we had planned. And it's probably going to keep moving for the next couple months. And it's going to be sad to see a lot of those attractions in Camp Snoopy go, but 'tis necessary for the growth of the park itself. I'm going to head home now because I am exhausted. But until next time, we'll catch y'all on the flippity flop.